I'm Christina Joy, and welcome to Gentle Yoga. Today's sequence will focus on the low back and hips. We'll work to create space in both areas of the body, as well as tone, strengthen, and stretch. And really just working to alleviate any symptoms of tightness or soreness for optimal health and wellness. So just a few things before we get started. You might like to have a folded up blanket as I am sitting on here. You can just place it right beneath your sitting bones for a little support to help find a nice tall seat. You might also like to have a block if you feel that that might support you for your practice. And we'll also need a yoga strap today. If you don't have a yoga strap handy, no worries. You can always just use a belt. So as always with your yoga practice, see if you can work to create a space of nurturing and healing. And we do this just by taking the options and modifications that suit us best so that everything that we do feels good. If something that I'm offering doesn't feel good, don't worry about it, just let it pass. So go ahead and begin and welcome yourself into this space by finding a nice comfortable seat. You might draw your legs into Sukhasana, crisscrossing them as I am sitting here. Or if this is uncomfortable to your joints, you can always just extend your legs outright. When you feel comfortable, close your eyes. Roll your shoulders up towards your ears, inhaling fully, and exhaling as you roll your shoulders back and down. Begin to find your yogic breath. Today we'll begin with Dirga Pranayama, also called three-part breath. As you inhale, send the breath into your lower lungs. Feel your whole belly expand. Allow it to lift up into the rib cage and fill all the way up into the heart, into the collarbones. And with your exhale, release from the collarbones. Feel the ribs draw together and just gently hug the navel into the spine. Continue on here. You might place one hand to the navel and one hand to your heart to really tap into that physical sensation, the ebb and flow quality of your breath. Inhaling, belly, ribs, and heart. Exhaling, heart, ribs, and belly. Stay here for a few more rounds. You might add another layer to your breath, finding Ujjayi Pranayama, just finding a light constriction in the base of your throat to create that audible whisper, that H-ah sound to your breath. As you stay and sit with your breath, welcome yourself into the present moment. See if you can focus all of your attention and all of your awareness right to your breath. And let your breath be your guide today. Know that as you move through your practice, your mind will surely wander off of the path. And the goal, the challenge, is to just notice when this happens and just gently welcome yourself back every single time the mind wanders off. You can gently open your eyes and let's begin our practice. Ready? Go ahead and take yourself away from any props that you may be sitting on. You could just place the blanket off to the side. You might like to use it for support to your knees later on in the sequence. Spin yourself around and just gently come to rest down onto your backside. You can place your hands right behind your thighs to support yourself and just roll yourself all the way down to the floor. Once you get there, draw your knees up into your chest. Just gently rock your body from side to side as you begin to massage the backside of your body. And then continue to draw the right leg close, but release the left leg. Press the left heel into the floor. You might interlace your hands to the right shin, or if the knee is sensitive, you can place your hands behind the thigh. Take a nice full breath here. With your exhale, release the right leg long. And inhale, draw the left knee and thigh to the chest, either interlacing hands behind the thigh for support or to the top of the shin. Take a full breath. And exhale again, switch legs. Right knee draws up into the chest, interlacing hands to shin or behind the thigh. Full breath in. Remember, we're grounding down through the left heel, hip, and shoulder. Take another deep breath. Exhale, release the right leg long. Press the heel into the floor. Inhale, left knee and thigh draws back up to the chest. Take a full breath. Inhaling. Exhale, switch. Take 2 more rounds. Right knee draws to the chest. Take a full breath in. Exhale to switch. Inhale, left knee and thigh draws back up to the chest. Breathing deeply, just creating a little warmth into your hip joint. On your exhale, release last time here. Inhale fully, right knee and thigh draws back up into the chest. Maybe squeeze a little bit closer if the body allows. With the exhale, release the right leg long. And inhale, draw the left knee and thigh back up into the chest, keeping your feet active. Now keep this motion going, but turn it into a hamstring stretch. So extend the right leg long, interlace your hands behind the thigh. Continue to ground down into the left heel. Take a full breath. And as you exhale, maybe glide the leg a little closer towards your torso. With your exhale, again, release the right leg. And inhale, draw the left knee, the left leg up towards your torso, keeping the leg extended. Just gentle pressure as you draw your left thigh a little bit closer to your torso. Exhaling, release. Take a full inhale again, reach the right leg high, being sure to ground down through the tailbone and to the low back. Exhale, switch. Inhale, left leg draws back up into the chest. Nice hamstring stretch, getting your muscles nice and warm and loose. Exhale, release. Inhale, right leg. Maybe draw it a little bit closer, staying active through both of your feet. When the exhale comes, release it. And inhale, take the left leg up, back nice and high. Take 2 more rounds here. Feel free to just now move with the cadence of your own breath. Inhaling, the leg lifts and pulls close. Exhaling, we release. Inhaling, left leg, hamstring stretch last time here. And exhale, release it back down. Plant both of your feet up on the floor and reach over to find your strap or belt, whatever's available to you today. And kind of fold the belt in half, and then take the right foot, the ball of the foot, to the strap. You can hold both of the straps at this point with each hand. You might keep the left foot grounded for the time being. Feel the tailbone as it presses heavy down into the floor. So you might stay right here, or you might extend the left leg, continuing to ground through the left heel. Get a little deeper into the hamstring stretch if it feels right to you. And then draw the leg back through center. Take a full breath. Take the left hand to the top of the left thigh or hip. And with your next exhalation, allow your right leg to fall open towards the right, opening to the side. Take 5 deep breaths here. See if you can ground back down through the left heel, through the left hip. You can use your left hand to assist, pressing down into the thigh or top of the hip, to get the hips into a level position as much as what is available today. If you want a little bit more sensation, try bending into your right elbow to glide the toes a little bit closer to the top of the mat. Inhaling and exhaling in and out of the nose, and working to stay with your full yogic breath. Take 1 more deep breath here. With your exhale, draw your right leg back through center, engaging your core to assist the low back. Pause just for a moment and release your right hand from the strap. Take the left hand to the strap. Extend your right arm out long and press the palm into the floor so that you can use it for control. With the exhalation, lower your leg over and cross your body to the left. Once you come down, release and flip the right palm up, and if it feels okay, you might gaze out over towards your right fingertips. Take 5 full breaths here. With each inhale, feel your ribcage expand to its fullest potential. And with your exhale, just gently draw your navel in towards the spine as you organically drop into the twist. 2 more deep breaths. If you want a little bit more sensation, try bending into the left elbow to draw the toes a little bit closer towards the back top of the mat. Take 1 more full breath here. With the exhale, engage the core. You can turn the right palm down to press through it to assist you, drawing the right leg back through center. Then take your left foot to the floor, bending the left knee. Prepare for figure 4 stretch, a nice way to settle the sacrum and get a little deeper into the low back. We'll take the right ankle to the top of the left thigh. So first of all, be sure to stabilize through your right knee by flexing or activating your left foot. So your foot should feel like you're standing on it. So for option 1, you might stay right here. This might be a beautiful stretch for you. Placing your right hand into the thigh to gently open up the hip. If you'd like a little bit more, try lifting your left foot off the floor, keeping the calf parallel. You can take the right hand and thread it to the insides of the legs, and then both hands will interlace behind the left thigh. If it's challenging to reach behind the thigh, you can always use your strap here and hold on to the strap to give you a little extra support. So find the option that works best for you in your figure 4, and we'll take 3 more breaths since you've already been here for a couple. If you'd like a little more, use your right elbow, pressing it to the inner right thigh to encourage the right hip to open a little more. You might stay with stillness, or you might just gently rock yourself from side to side. Sometimes that can feel really nice too. So take 1 more deep breath. And exhale, go ahead and release. Draw both of the knees back up into your chest. Bring the big toes to touch. Spread the knees wide with the hands on the shins. Just take 1 or 2 circles through the hip. Let's take that to the left side. So same thing, but different side, different experience. So just kind of let go of any judgments. If you experienced a lot of tightness or tension, or if you felt really open, it might be completely different on this side. Place the ball of the left foot to the strap, just coming into your hamstring stretch first. Remember, we want to press the tailbone just gently, not hard, just gently into the mat so that the low back and the sacrum is in contact with the floor. The sacrum is the bony plate between your tailbone and low back. Take a full breath, and if you'd like more on the exhalation, bend into the elbows to encourage the left thigh a little bit closer towards your torso. Nice hamstring stretch. Bring it back through center, and then we'll release the right hand. Place both straps into your left hand, and the right hand can come to rest onto the hip or thigh. Full breath in as you prepare to let the left leg open towards the side, getting into the inner thigh, getting into the hip. Remember to ground down into your right heel. Keep your gaze straight up and maybe bend deeper into the left elbow to get a little bit more sensation. 3 more full breaths, breathing in and out of your nose. Take 2 more full breaths here, welcoming a little warmth into the hips as we prepare to strengthen, stretch, and tone this area of the body. Last breath. With your exhale, use your core muscles and the strength of your body to draw your left leg back through center. Pause here. Take the right hand to the strap. Extend the left arm out with the palm pressing into the floor. The hand is in line with the shoulder. Prepare to cross the body for a twist and to get into the outer IT band on the exhalation. Slowly lower your leg down here. Once you come into stillness, 5 full breaths. Feel free to turn the palm so that it faces up. This will help to ground the back of the shoulder into the floor. If it feels okay to the cervical spine, to the neck, you might gaze over to the left. But if that's not comfortable, it's okay to gaze straight up as well. 3 more full breaths here, bending deeper into the right elbow only if you want a little bit more sensation or a little bit deeper of a stretch. See if you can find your left hip crease and think about shifting your left hip crease down towards the back of the mat to deepen the stretch into the piriformis, getting into the outer left hip. Last breath here. With your inhale, turn the left palm down, engage your abdominals, draw the leg back through center, and then we'll plant the right foot on the floor, bending the knee, preparing for figure four stretch. Another great stretch for the piriformis and outer hips. You can release the strap and place the left ankle to the top of the right thigh. So remember, option one, we stay right here, being sure to keep safety top of mind, stabilizing into the knee joint by flexing the left foot and keeping it active. You're also welcome to use your strap, placing it to the back of your right thigh and using that for a little support, or go for the fullest expression of the posture, lifting the right foot, the calf is parallel, the left hand threads through the front of the legs, and both hands interlace behind the right thigh. 3 full breaths here. You might stay nice and still as you apply gentle pressure and encourage the right thigh closer towards your torso. You might rock a little side to side. 3 more deep breaths, pretty strong posture, so it's normal if you feel a lot of sensation here, as long as there's nothing that feels like pain. If you want the most, the left elbow presses into the left thigh to encourage the left hip to open a little bit more deeply. Last breath here. With your exhale, release your figure four, draw both knees back up into your chest, give yourself a big hug, bring the big toes to touch, and just take 2 to 3 or so circles back through your hips, and again, just explore your range of motion. From here, let's prepare to come up onto all fours, coming into tabletop. You can plant your feet on the floor, press through your arms to lift yourself up into a seat, and then we'll spin ourselves around and come into tabletop position. Plant the hands right under your shoulders and the knees right under your hips. Look down in between your thighs. You should have about 2 fist distance in between your legs. That's a good way to measure about hips distance. So just stabilizing the joints in this way. Moving through your cat-cow tilts to nurture the spine. With your inhale, lift your chin and tailbone, stretch your abdominals. Exhale, round your spine, bring the chin towards the chest. Inhale, gaze up, tailbone lifts, gazing high. Exhale, round the spine, bring the chin towards the chest. Take a few more rounds here, moving at your own pace, and welcome your breath to guide you. See if you can let your inhale begin just before the movement begins, and then in this way, the breath is truly guiding your movements. Let's take one more round here in your cat-cow tilts. Exhaling, press strong through the palms like you're pressing the earth away. And then return back into a neutral position, finding your tabletop. Let's prepare to lower down onto the belly as we move into low cobra, Bhujangasana. This is a great posture to help strengthen the low back. So from your tabletop position, walk your hands out just a little bit so that your hands are about 45 degrees away, in line with your shoulders. Take a deep breath, and as you exhale, bend into your elbows, squeeze them in towards the ribs, and lower your body down onto the mat. Straighten your legs once you get there. With the palms right under the tops of the shoulders, the elbows hugging towards each other, zip your legs up like a cobra tail. Energize into your legs, feel the knees begin to lift. With your inhale, lift up through the torso, rolling the shoulders back and down. Low cobra. So low cobra is really, really low. You might, if it's available, float your palms up to use the fullest strength in your low back. Take another full breath here. And with your exhale, release your hands down by your sides. You can take your left cheek to the mat and gaze to the right to stretch out the back of the neck. Take another full breath. And exhale, draw your chin back through center. Let's prepare for locust pose, Shalanbasana, another great asana to help strengthen, the muscles of the low back. So with the third eye resting on the mat, big toes touch, spin the palms to face up. This time as you inhale, lift the shoulders, lift the feet, and reach your fingertips back towards your heels. Stay long through the back of the neck and just breathe as deeply as you can here, but it will be challenging to take a deeper breath. So you just work to find the deepest breath that you can. Try to let your glutes be a little bit soft and get deep into the muscles of your low back. See if you can lift your feet and hands just another centimeter or two. Take another deep breath. And with your exhale, release your opposite cheek to the mat. Stretch the side of the neck. Take a full breath in. And exhale. Next inhale, please bring your gaze back through center. And then just prop your elbows right underneath your shoulders as we prepare for Sphinx pose. Fan the hands out wide and begin to press firmly into the hands. Check to see that your elbows are right underneath the shoulders. Now with your inhale, roll the shoulders back and down and press into your forearms, press into your elbows so it feels like you're pulling your front side body forward. Continue to stay energized into the legs, working to get the big toes to touch, but sometimes we need a little bit more space. So if the feet are not touching, that's okay too. Take one more full breath here, finding a nice back bend with your Sphinx pose. And with your exhale, again, release the left cheek to the mat, but this time make a little pillow with your hands. You can just rest your head there, or maybe the forehead, however you're most comfortable. Bend your knees, and keeping the feet together, just kind of circle out through the feet, just to release any energy that may have collected into the low back with those strengthening asanas. Take a few circles, moving in the opposite direction, just real nice, real gentle, nice and easy. So let's prepare for puppy pose, which is coming up next. Puppy pose is a great modification or variation for downward facing dog. So make your way back into tabletop position, pressing the hips back and coming onto all fours. So as we come into puppy pose, think about your cat-cow tilts and lift your tailbone up just like you would if you were moving into cow. Keep the tailbone lifted and pull up and in on your navel, keeping the core engaged. Keep the hips right over your knees as you lower down. So for option A, keeping the hips in line with the knees, walk your hands to the top of the mat and land onto your forearms and elbows. You might use your block here to support your head if it's not comfortable to lower all the way to the floor, and you can just rest your forehead here, and it actually feels really, really good. If you'd like a little bit deeper variation, if the body allows, from your tabletop, lift the tailbone, and then just walk the hands all the way out, keeping the arms straight, and lower your body, keeping the hips just as they are. You might rest your forehead, or if your neck is quite flexible, you might drop the chin towards the floor. Stay here for 5 deep breaths, healing the spine with back bending, taking pressure off of the nerves that come out of the spine. Keep the core engaged, supporting your low back, breathing in and out of your nose. Last breath here. Safely coming out of the pose, Curl your tailbone gently under, slide your elbows back so that you can safely walk your hands back under the shoulders. So we'll move into downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. So if this doesn't feel good in your body, or if it doesn't feel good to have pressure onto the wrist, you can take a second round of puppy pose. If you'd like to give it a try, hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Fan the palms as wide as can be to take pressure off of your joints. Curl your toes under your feet. Gaze down towards your thumbs. Take a full breath in, engage your core to lift your hips and straighten your legs and come up into downward facing dog. Let your head hang heavy. You might shake it a little yes, shake it a little no, no worries, no judgments, no expected outcomes. You might pedal through your legs, bending your knees right and left. Slowly just walking it out, feeling that extra space that we've already created through the hips and hamstrings. Stay here and pedal for a few more rounds or ground back down. If your heels are slightly lifted, that's okay. Find a little bit deeper of a bend through the knees. And we're focusing on getting as long as we can through the spine. So continue to lift up through the tailbone, pulling the belly in. Stabilize through the shoulders by hugging your inner elbows together. Gazing either between the heels or towards your navel. Take another full breath. Strengthening every muscle group into your body. Transitioning to standing on your inhale, gaze forward. Take as many steps as you'd like to come to the top of the mat. Meeting in a forward fold. With your next inhale, lengthen your spine. Draw your palms to your shins so that you can roll the shoulders back, flatten out through the spine, and spread the sit bones wide. Take another full breath here, and exhale, fold back over your legs, Uttanasana. Supporting through the back, bend through the knees, reverse swan dive. Inhale, arms reach up overhead, touching the palms. And with your exhale, draw your hands back into your heart space. Let's take 2 more rounds just like that. We'll move a little bit more quickly. Begin with the palms at the sides. Inhale, arms reach high, palms touch. Exhale, bending through the knees, supporting the back, fold over your legs. Inhale, lengthen your spine, palms to shins. Exhale, fold deeper. Inhale, arms reach high, reaching up for the sun, gazing up. Exhale, hands to the heart, palms by the sides. Last round here. Inhale. Exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale, lengthen your spine, draw the shoulders back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, you can bend through the knees or keep the legs straight. Arms reach back up overhead. And with your exhale, collect your palms back to your heart center. And then just take your hands right to your hips, preparing for a knee down lunge. Go ahead and step your left foot way back. And with control, bend into the left knee and lower the left knee down onto your mat. Untuck the back toes. Interlace your hands across the top of the right thigh and just gently begin to press your torso back. And if it feels okay, sink down into your hips. Be sure to stabilize through your front knee by seeing that the knee is tracking right over the ankle. So if the knee is past the ankle and we kind of have this happening, then we just want to step the foot towards the top of the mat or inch your foot to the top of the mat to be sure that we're stabilizing through the joint. So 5 breaths here, or reach your arms up overhead for knee down warrior, Anjayanasana. Take 3 more full breaths. Press in and down into your front right heel and imagine that you're dragging your left hip point towards the top of the mat. For the fullest expression, you might lift your gaze. Take another full breath in. With your exhale, take your palms to the mat. Tuck your back toes under. Lift the knee. You can walk your foot in a little bit and step yourself back forward to fold over your legs, exhaling. Inhaling again, arms reach high, gaze lifts, palms touch. Exhale, hands come back into the heart. Right foot steps back, taking the hands to the hips. With control, bend into your right knee as you lower it down to the earth. Now, I didn't mention it on the other side, but if your joints, if your knee is sensitive, you can just go ahead and use your blanket for a little extra support under the knee. Release the back toes. Just begin with the hands resting interlaced to the left thigh. You might roll your torso back, sinking deeper into the front hip. Check back in with the left knee. See that the joint is stabilized. Heel comes right over the ankle. For the last 5 breaths, if you'd like the fullest expression, knee down warrior, Anjayanasana. Inhale, reach your arms up high like you're stretching and reaching for the sun. Continue to press strong into the left heel, imagining that you're dragging your right hip point towards the top of the mat. Try to slow your breath here, working into the front of the right psoas, the hip flexor. Last breath. Exhaling, if the palms are lifted, release them down. Tuck the back toes, lift the knee, step yourself forward, and fold back over the legs. Inhale, rise all the way back up, arms reaching high. Exhaling, draw your hands back to your heart. This time we'll stay in a high lunge or crescent lunge. You can take your hands back to the hips. Lead with the left leg, stepping the left foot back. Keep the left heel lifted. And then take the shoulders back so the shoulders are right over the hips. So we're here versus here. If you need a little bit more stability, you might widen your stance, heel toeing your right foot further to the edge of the mat. See if you can bend into your left knee. Press your pelvis just slightly forward, and then keep the integrity of a neutral pelvis and work to straighten the back left leg without losing the integrity there. 5 breaths, 4 more to go. Either stay right here or reach your arms back up overhead. The weight is equal in both of the feet. The right hip point pins back just ever so slightly, pressing the left hip point forward. Your gaze might be lifted. If it's uncomfortable to the shoulders, you can bend into your elbows or just take your arms down. Take another deep breath in. Exhaling, this time just take the hands to the hips and step yourself forward. Plant the feet back together and step your right foot back. Take a deep inhale breath. Neutralize into the pelvis, bend into your right knee. Shift your pelvis forward so that we're in a neutral position, supporting the length of your spine. Keep the integrity of a neutral pelvis and begin to press or straighten your right leg. Either keep the hands on the hips or, again, reach them up high. 5 breaths, 4 more to go. Breathing fully in and out of your nose, even staying engaged through the muscles of your core. Keeping your eyes focused on your drishti, your point of focus. Take 2 more full breaths. See if you can feel your inner thighs hug and scissor towards each other for maximum stability. Take 1 more deep breath. Good, nice job. With your exhale, take your hands back to your hips. Step yourself forward. Inhale, take the arms up high. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Down back to the hips. Right foot steps back for warrior 2. This time, turn your right heel back and down. So pause here just for a moment. With your hands resting on the hips, bending into the left knee, just check out the feet, the stance of the feet. The left heel intersects with the arch of the back right foot. And we're stabilizing the knee joint here by thinking about shifting the thigh towards the back wall. So as you gaze to the inside of the knee, you can see your first and second toe. Knee is right over the ankle. Press strong through both of your feet and then reach your arms out just like a peaceful warrior. Establish your drishti, your gaze, your point of focus. Try to relax down into the tops of the shoulders, but staying strongly engaged through your arms. Take another full breath here. Transitioning to extended side angle, take the left forearm to the left thigh. And then the right hand can come to the hip. You might rotate the shoulder back and stay right here for 5 breaths. You might extend the arm up high, working to stack the joints. Or if you want the most sensation, find full extended side angle by reaching the tricep over the ear. If you'd like to challenge your balance, maybe gaze to the inside of the palm. Take 3 more deep breaths, keeping the action through your feet and legs. 2 more full breaths, stay strong through your core. Opening, strengthening, toning the hips, releasing into the low back. Last breath here. Inhale, come back into your warrior 2. And straighten the left leg, spin the toes forward. Nice job. Bend into your right knee, turn the right toes out. Take your hands to your hips. You might widen your stance if it's available, but set up your warrior 2 stance on this side. So making sure that the feet are heel to arch. Stabilizing through the knee joint, really important, knees over the ankle, and we're externally rotating the hips so it feels like the thigh is pressing towards the back wall. Once you have that, pull up and in, engage through the left quadricep, press through the outer edge of the left foot, see if you can feel the inner arch of the foot lift. Extend your arms out, hands in line with the shoulders, hips and shoulders squared forward. But the gaze goes over the right fingertips. If you find it challenging to find the engagement of relaxing into the shoulders, try turning the palms up. Feel the shoulder blades descend down into the low back, and then keep them there. Just turn the palms back down. Take 2 more deep breaths. Strong posture. Transition to extended side angle. We'll take the right forearm to the thigh. Left hand comes to the hip. Core is strong. Rotate the left shoulder, rib cage open. Gazing up, you might stay here for 5 breaths. You might extend the left arm up high or go into the fullest variation of extended side angle. Left arm reaches, triceps over the ear, maybe gazing towards the inside of the palm to challenge the balance. 3 more full breaths. Pull up and in on your navel. Last 2. Reach through the fingers. Last 1. Nice job. Come back into your warrior 2. Inhale, straighten the right leg, spin the toes forward, and you might walk your feet in once or twice. Take your hands to your low back with your fingertips facing down. Lift the shoulders up, back, and down. Draw the elbows closer towards each other for a standing back bend. Press the pelvis forward, lengthen up out of your waist, and just gently recline back, only as much as what feels good to you. Take another full breath. And with your inhale, light as a feather, rise to come back through center. Relax your hands down by your legs, and heel toe your feet back together. You might do a little dance on the way. From here, let's make our way back down to the mat to find pigeon pose, a wonderful stretch for your hips and also a great release for your low back. So we'll use a blanket today. If you feel that you don't need to use a blanket or a prop, you can just let that pass. If you are coming with me to use the blanket, place it towards the center of your mat, and then just drop your knees back onto it. We'll transition through downward facing dog to find pigeon pose. So curling the toes under, engaging your core to lift your hips, straighten your legs, find downward facing dog. Now with your inhale, take your right leg high and draw your right knee towards your right wrist. Thread your right foot and ankle under your body and take it to the left edge of the mat. And then inch your back toes behind you to lower your pelvis down onto the floor. Release your toes, so come to the top of the back left foot. And you might tent the fingertips and just gently lean back here for a nice deep stretch into the front of the left hip flexor. If you feel pressure onto your back left knee, retuck the toes and either shimmy forward or back so that when you release the foot back down, there's no pressure onto the kneecap. You're completely welcome to stay right here, or you might lower down. Be sure first that you're stabilizing your knee joint, just like we did on figure 4, resting on our back by keeping your right foot here nice and active. And also remember, if this just does not feel good to you, that's okay. Come back down to lie on your back and find your figure 4 as we took at the beginning of class. If this is feeling pretty good to you, inch your way down and we'll stay here for 5 full breaths. So lots of different options. Again, you might just stay right here. You might make little fist and rest your forehead. You can do the same thing with your block and rest your forehead on a block, which is actually quite comfortable. Or you might just make a little pillow with your hands and come all the way down. Breathing in and out of your nose. Scanning the body to notice if we're holding tension through the jaw, through the shoulders. And anywhere where you experience tension or tightness, imagine sending your breath into these areas to bring a nurturing and healing quality to your postures. So last breath here. With your inhale, press yourself back up. Walk the palms back under your shoulders. Curl your back left toes under, lift the back knee, and step your right leg back. Come back into your downward facing dog. Now let's try that on the left side. With your inhale, sweep the left leg high. Draw the left knee towards the wrist, threading the left foot underneath your body and placing it to the right edge of the mat. Inch your back right toes behind you and try to get your pelvis to a level position onto the floor. Remember, there's no pressure on the back kneecap, so make an adjustment there if you need to. And once you feel comfortable, rest the top of the foot on the floor. You might gently lean back to get a little deeper into the front of the right hip flexor, the psoas muscle, or begin to lower yourself down, being sure to stabilize into your left knee by keeping the left foot active. And then just choose a place that's comfortable. It might be right here. You might use your block, or you might come to rest all the way down for 5 full breaths. Different side, different experience. This posture is not only great for creating more space into your hips, but it's also a great way to create more space into your low back. But definitely a strong posture. 2 more deep breaths. Breathing in and out of your nose, scanning your body for tension. Are we creating it or are we helping to relieve it? Last breath. Walk the palms back under the shoulders. Tuck your back toes, lift your right knee, and step yourself back. Downward facing dog. This time with your inhale, come forward and lower your knees down onto the mat. And let's make our way onto our backs. So you can just go ahead and spin yourself around in any old fashion. Planting your feet on the floor, you might support yourself, hands to the backs of the thighs as you lower yourself all the way down and prepare for a round of back bending as we find bridge pose, Setu Bandhasana. See that your knees are at hips distance. Remember, you can make 2 fists and just place your fists in between your thighs to measure roughly. Or you might also place the block in between your thighs if you have that handy, placing the length of the block to the length of the thighs. The block is also nice because it's a good reminder of using your inner thighs as you lift to help support your body. So walk the heels as close to your body as what feels good to you. Rest your hands down by the hips, gazing straight up at the ceiling. Feel the engagement of the inner thighs as you squeeze the block. When you're ready, with your inhale, begin to lift your tailbone and lift your hips up off of the floor as you rise up into bridge pose. So take 3 deep breaths here, pressing down through lift the feet all through all areas of the foot, continuing to keep the engagement of the inner thighs, working to lift up through the heels to lift the hips a little higher, keeping the chin lifted. Take another full breath and exhale. Slowly lower your body back down. Find a nice full breath in and out as you arrive. Let's prepare for the second round. Re-engage the inner thighs, squeeze the block, gaze back up, press down through the feet. Inhale, lift the tailbone, lift the hips, and rise back up. Bridge pose, Setu Bandhasana. You might stay here, or this round you might shimmy your shoulders underneath you, interlacing your fingers, pressing the heels of the palms, and working to lift up just a little bit higher as you press down into the heels, the backs of your arms and elbows. Take one more full breath. And exhaling, slowly release your grip and lower yourself back down. We'll take one more round, working to flush out the kidneys, strengthen every single muscle in the backside of your body. Heels may walk a little closer. Inhale again, re-engage the inner thighs, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze the block. Lift the tailbone as you inhale, lift the hips. You might keep the palms on the floor or interlace your hands behind you, shimmying the shoulders, pressing down strong through all three corners of each foot rather. Keeping your chin lifted, keeping the throat open. Take two more deep breaths here. Fullest expression, the thighs work parallel. Last breath. And with your exhale, slowly lower your body down. Nice job, strong posture. Release the block from between your legs. Just place it off to the side. You're done with it now. Draw the knees back up into your chest. Give yourself a big hug. Such a good job today. Let's finish off with a nice recline twist. Open your arms, hands in line with your shoulders. Flexing through the feet with your calves parallel. We'll twist to the right first. So take a deep breath in. And with your exhale, press down into your palms for control as you begin to lower your knees and thighs over to the right. Take 5 full breaths here. If it feels okay to the cervical spine, your neck, go ahead and turn your gaze to the left. Go ahead and let your palms be lifted, grounding through the backs of your shoulders. 3 more deep breaths with your inhale. See how much you can expand into your rib cage. And with your exhale, gently control the exhale with light engagement, pulling your navel back in. 90-degree bend through the backs of the legs. Take one more deep breath. And if you'd like that extra support, turn the palms back down as you come through center. In as you exhale, we'll engage the core, draw the knees back through center. With your inhale, lower your knees gently to the left. Once you come into stillness, let the palms be lifted, maybe gazing to the right, taking 5 full breaths here. So I didn't mention it on the other side, but if the knees don't come all the way down, so if you find that you're here, or maybe the top leg is a little lifted, you can always use your block, and let me just show you that. You can always use your block to support you by placing the block under your calves if the legs don't come all the way down. So you might be here, or you might place the block in between your thighs. So just find a place where there's no effort, where your body can just relax into the twist. Take a full breath, and with your exhale, remove any props. Place it back off to the side. Draw yourself back through center. Hug the knees back up into the chest. Give yourself a hug for doing such a good job. As you exhale, extend your limbs, your arms, your legs. and welcome yourself into your final resting pose, Shavasana. As you come here, let go of all intentional muscle engagement. Let go of breath control. Stay here to rest as long as you need. Give yourself 3 to 5 minutes, maybe more. And thank you all so much for joining me today. We'll see you next time on the mat. Namaste.